I'm Bev Adams. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. As I record this video, I'm getting ready to go to Orlando to go to the Stampin' Up OnStage. I am so excited. I will be participating in an organized swap with some very talented demonstrators. It's for birthday cards, and this is the card that I'm swapping. I used Dragonfly Dreams, and for the birthday greeting on the swaps that I actually am bringing, I used the Happy Birthday from Balloon Celebration. I used the Delicate Lace Edgelets, this one, and the Layered Leaves Dynamic Textured Impression Embossing Folder. My paper is, of course, a Whisper White envelope. This is Granny Apple Green. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. A piece of 5 1/4 by 4 Granny Apple Green. A piece of the glossy white paper that is 5 1/4 by 2 1/8. I used 2 1/8 because it's half of the 4 1/4, so that's an efficient use of my paper. I also have a piece of Whisper White that's 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside. A piece of the Sparkle Glimmer Paper. This is 3 by 3 1/2. And a piece of vellum that's also 3 by 3 1/2. I have some of this dotted tulle that is, I have two pieces. One is 12 inches and one is 4 inches. And then I'm also going to be using Wink of Stella. First thing you're going to want to do is to stamp the Dragonfly on the vellum. It does take some time to dry, and this vellum is not quite the right size, but I'm going to be cutting it out, so I'm going to squeeze it in here, and I should be on the pad. Let's see if it works. I think that's good enough. So do set this aside. When I was doing my swaps, I left these out overnight to dry. Today for my video I stamped one and put it up by my open window for maybe an hour or two, and it's fine. The ink does not absorb into the vellum like it does with our cardstock, so it takes longer to dry. Next I'm going to cut the glossy white paper. This is a very detailed edgelet. Some edgelets and thinlets pop right out. This is not one of those. I used every trick in my book to help myself, but I think this is worth it, and it comes out beautifully. I am using my glossy white paper. I have a piece of wax paper on top of that, and then my thinlet. I am using the precision base plate. I'm putting the detail along one long side. It's actually relatively straight, so this is easy to get cut straight. If these little 3 dots help you center it, then cover it up with your cutting plate and make a double check to make sure that it hasn't moved on you, and then roll it through. And I would roll it through a couple of times. Every big shot is different, and the more you roll it through, I think the easier it will be to get it out. So go ahead and do it 2 or 3 times. While I have my big shot out, I might as well cut the rest of the things I'm going to need. So also with the precision base plate, I'm using this detailed Dragonfly. This is the smaller of the two. I love the new glimmer paper. It's a lot easier to cut. The older style has kind of a plastic edge on the back that made it a little bit harder to cut out, and this does pop out very easily. I'm taking off my precision base plate and bringing in my cut up plate. I'm using this Dragonfly to cut out this one. You want to be sure that this doesn't move around. This Dragonfly tail is very narrow. Cut that out. Then I'm going to switch to the regular platform, and we're going to emboss with the layered leaves folder. With the thick dynamic folder, sometimes it works out better to mist your paper. You can use water or alcohol. I always have Stampin' Mist around, and that seems to work just fine as well. And I like to put in the fold side. Also, with those thick dynamic folders, you only use one cutting plate. You'll know right away if you've got two cutting plates, and it's not going to work because it's going to be too thick. Anytime that you are working too hard with your big shot, stop, something's wrong. It should be pretty easy to go through. With the Glimmer Dragonfly, this should pop out very easily. I am going to use my Big Shot die brush, but I probably wouldn't need to. That should get most of it. There's a couple left to pop. They practically fall out. And this piece is the one that's going to take probably a little bit more work. There will probably be some poking involved with this. So I'm going to brush plenty. I am brushing over the metal to kind of protect the pieces that I want to keep. I'm not letting the brushes go over this part. And let's see how much that helps. A little bit more poking needed. So I found that this top edge, if I poke that out, and the center section, I think that this one's worth the extra work. On my sample, I think I used the Itty Bitty Greetings, but as I said, I'm using the Happy Birthday from Balloon Celebrations, and I'm stamping in this bottom corner. When I was stamping my 30 swaps, I did use the Stamparatus so that I could be sure that I got a really excellent impression. And I'm stamping Enjoy Your Special Day, also in Granny Apple Green, right about there. And I'm using the basic gray for the Dragonfly, and I am stamping off. I only want kind of a soft Dragonfly. And then I'm using the Wink of Stella over the wings. Just a real quick brushing to give a little shimmer. You can do a little bit of the body. And I also flicked some on the bottom. So if you just stick the brush inside the cap and just let it flick, I don't know if any of that glimmer will show up. Maybe. Get it in the light and then just right. So I'll set that aside to dry. To make a bow, I have Gidget's Bow Maker. You can get this from my website. I have one hole between for a little bit larger bow. Wrapping it around. This is the 12-inch piece. The one that goes on top goes under and through and around the top. And then I'm just setting the 4-inch piece in here before I tie the second part of the knot. I like using my third hand, an alligator clip from the electrical department of the hardware store. Just tie the rest of my knot with that 12-inch piece, and I always get a beautiful bow. So I think that this looks more like a bow because I have the ends showing. going to wrap that around this piece, but first I want to put just one single glue dot right in the center here. And I'll put my bow there, and that will make life easier for myself. And then wrap those long ends around the back. And if these are too long or they're not where I want them, I can slide it to even them out or trim them, either way. And then I'm just adhering that to my layered leaves layer. Even with the edges. You could put that on with dimensionals. I didn't think it needed it. And then put this under the card base. And put my inside. This should be nice and dry now. Put my inside on the inside. I'm adhering my vellum dragonfly to my glimmer dragonfly. I just adhered them on the body. I like that there's a little bit of gap there. The dragonfly bodies are very thin. You can use one single of the mini, or you can cut one in half and use 1.5, but you can also use the edges, and frankly that's what I used for these. And then just to kind of center this up, I put the dragonfly, this wing in the center, and like it's going up to this little flower here. And that's it. I hope you enjoy your special day. If you follow this link on the video or in the YouTube description below, I'll have free detailed directions for this project and product links. I sell the Stampin' Up! Products you've seen in this video. Just click the links for products you'd like to purchase and you'll be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up! Be sure to read about the frequent shopper points I offer my customers. I'd be honored to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you're new to stamping or Stampin' Up!, you might want to check out the Basics tab on my website, where I share about stamps, ink, and paper, cutting card bases and layers, and some of my favorite tools. I offer lots more resources at bevadams.com. Click on Scroll My Projects and you can go back year by year to 2011 and click to go to the original post with directions. Getting organized for lots of resources like a practically free stamp pad storage solution, a basic toolkit you can grab and go, labels and case inserts for just about every product, and more. Products from Bev for information about sharing my Evernote notebook of current Stampin' Up! Products, taggers to name all those layering framelits, a paper sampler for Stampin' Up! Cardstock, heavy-duty bags to store your 12x12 and 6x6 paper, and for the bow maker that my friend makes that I'm always using on my videos. Save money or make money. Techie tips. Deals from Stampin' Up! Come stamp with me if you're in Ventura County in California. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also to my website so you don't miss a thing. More organization means more time for crafting. Thank you so very much for watching. Bye.